Hiya! Welcome! So this is a video that I didn't think I would have to do. It's a bit of an unusual one, this. Obviously nothing in my usual wheelhouse of what I do on this channel, but it's kind of like a moan and a bit of a rant. Well, I'll try not to be too ranty, and just a kind of warning about a couple of companies who I've been dealing with. Although neither company are affiliated with each other, I've had dealings with both of them. One that I'll talk about first, I've not been using them that long, and the other one, I've been using them for years, but I think it's the end of what was a rather fruitful relationship, really. I wanted to do this video and just tell you about my recent experiences with these businesses, because I feel as someone who runs a YouTube channel that's primarily reviewing companies, really, to a large extent, and letting you know how I find their customer service and the way they package their products and the way they deal with me as a customer, I feel it's almost a duty, in a way, to warn other people about the pitfalls and about the mistakes and the incompetence. And in the case of the second company, just the kind of ghosting that goes on, really. Let me start with a company called Coda Records. Now, you'll have seen a few days ago in my Records Roundup number 6 that they had actually sent me the wrong album twice. The first time I'd opened it off camera, ready to show in an upcoming Records Roundup video. It was the wrong one. I sent it back to them. I printed out a returns label and stuff. That was all fair enough. And then they sent me what was supposedly the correct replacement. I opened that live on the Records Roundup number 6, and it was the same record, the same wrong record again. Here's what happened, just very truncated. This is the second time I've received this. It's from Coda Records, and I received a package from them a few days ago. I opened it excitedly, and it was the wrong thing. It wasn't completely the wrong thing. It was the right one, but just the wrong edition. Is it the right one? We'll soon find out. And it's not. It's not the right. It's not the right one. Again, they've sent me the wrong one twice now. It's not very good on Coda Records, is it, to get this wrong twice in a row? If they say, oh, send it back again, then I'm just going to say, well, why? If it's going to happen a third time, you're just going to send me the exact same album that I've sent back to you, that you sent to me in the first place, twice. That's a mistake. It's the wrong edition. So yeah, I found it more funny than anything, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna not deal with this company again, but I will let them know. And the bank holiday weekend had been and gone, and Matt from Coda Records finally got back in touch with me, and he said, oh look, I'm really sorry that it happened again for a second time, and we sent you the wrong thing. Our usual packing staff are on holiday, or warehouse staff, or whatever he said. I'll try and remember to put some of the email exchanges I've had with Coda up on screen here, so you can see, if only for transparency. What Matt at Coda said was, right, we'll send you a £10 gift certificate by way of apology, which he did within a day or so. We'll make sure the correct album, we'll make sure that's sent out. I've not received that yet. And we'll also send the Every, who used to be Hermes, courier to pick up your album within the next couple of days or so, which they did. But I've still got that album. Every did come and collect it, but can you spot a problem? There you go, that's Coda Records' address if you want to send them a Christmas card or something. I don't think I'll be bothering this year. All that Matt said was, we'll send the Every guy, the courier, to pick it up. He didn't say anything about printing out another returns label, and he didn't send me another returns label either. And I kind of suspected this was going to happen. I thought, no, I'll just package it up anyway. I'll handwrite Coda's address on, just to be on the safe side. But I won't be surprised if they don't take this, because there's no proper address or barcode on it. And what do you know? Every wouldn't take it. At the time of me recording this, the majority of that happened within the last couple of hours or so. I sent Coda one more email saying, look, this is a farce now. You didn't send me anything to print out, stick on the mailer, like you did the first time, the last time. Yeah, I'll put this down, I don't really need it. It's only a prop, really, for this video. I said to him, I did think about printing out the original returns label, but it'll have a different tracking number attached to it, so it probably would have been invalid when the courier tried to scan it. So this is just me saying, Coda Records, you are an absolute state. You really are. And I'll probably tag them in this when I promote this post on Instagram. And if anyone from there, Matt, he might be the main guy who runs it, but it sounds like it is a company with at least some sort of multiples of staff within it, or he could just be the social media guy and the guy who responds to complaints and nothing more. I have honestly no idea. I don't know what's going to happen now. Like, he might send me another email tomorrow, possibly, and say, okay, oh, that was my mistake, I should have sent you another returns label, I'm sorry I didn't mention it. All he literally said was, we'll arrange for Every to come and collect it. He didn't even say to put it in a mailer or anything. I couldn't put it in the original mailer, as it had torn too much when I opened it. That's by the by, really. I thought, just out of courtesy and the fact that I didn't want it to be damaged going back to Coda, I would put it in a spare mailer that I had. But then I thought, well, if it's not got any proper address and printed out barcode and stuff on, then it'll be unlikely that Every will take this. And it's not Every's fault either, no matter what people say about that company, what used to be Hermes. Every, when they deliver stuff to me in this area, they've always been great. When I sent back the first Pink Floyd album, I took that down to my local shop and used their parcel shop service. I know that was fine. And I wasn't told to do that this second time. I would have been a little bit loath to, because it's just more trouble out of my day. If Matt from Coda had said to me, oh, can you take it down to your nearest parcels shop again? I'd be like, well, why should I? But to be fair, before any of that, he made the offer. He said, right, we'll arrange for Every to pick up from your home. Great, in theory. In practice, not so much. So there we are. Don't know if I'll get the correct album. As I said in the Records Roundup last week, I was happy enough to get that again. It's not absolutely essential that I get the correct edition of Pink Floyd, A Momentary Lapse of Reason, but they said they would send me that out. They haven't yet, because I would have thought I would have got a tracking number for that. They now haven't got the incorrect item again. They've received it already once, but their second one, it's still here with me, as you saw, and I actually don't want to send it to them until I've actually got either a full refund for all this mess. Yeah, they sent me a £10 gift voucher, so what? You know, I spent $32.99 on that album, and the version I've got, that I got twice now, is not worth $32.99. It's up on their site for at least, I think, £8 less than that, probably about £10 less actually. But either way, I know I can get that album for much less than £30 from most of the sites that I normally use. That's just kind of a warning for any UK-based record collectors. If you're ordering from Coda, just be wary that if there's a different variant or a different version of the same album, there's two different ones up on the site, then if their usual packing staff are on holiday, then they've got, I don't know, Mr. Bean and Olive from On the Buses working for them to do the holiday cover, and you might get the wrong thing twice, and then when you're offered to send it back for the second time, you can't, because they didn't give you the required returns label. There we are. So Coda Records, what a farce. Yeah, I've got a £10 voucher to use with them. Will I ever use it? I've no idea. I need to see how this one plays out, but they might be fed up with contacting me like I'm fed up with contacting them. They might just sort of think, oh, I'll leave it. If he's going to keep the album, then we'll just kind of go our separate ways, which would be fair enough, but it's a bit shitty of them, really, to just be so crap at sorting this out. It's just a simple order. You could see what my order was for on all the emails and blah, blah, blah. You know, it does say what version it is, so it's not my fault that the people in the warehouse aren't paying attention. Alright, so moving away from Coda, on to a different sort of company altogether, but one I've used and one I've recommended, and they've been affiliated with me here on YouTube to an extent as well, in the not too distant past. Glass Shelf Collectibles. Now, I did allude to how disappointed I was with GSC, and this is about Funko Pops, obviously. That's what GSC sell. I know this video's a bit all over the place, really. I felt I'd do one video about both companies, even though the issues are quite different in a way, really. Glass Shelf Collectibles, independent Funko supplier. I've had pre-orders with them now. I think the majority of them are over a year old now, and one of them is getting on for a year. I think I made it in November or something like that, so it'll be like 10 months or so now. Pre-ordering, that's all on me. I accept that. I realise now, and I really should have realised it a long time ago, to pre-order Funko Pops from anywhere, certainly here in the UK, is a risk, because unlike with records and CDs and music, and I suppose DVDs and Blu-rays as well, if there's a release date announced and you can pre-order something, generally that's a release date that everywhere that's stocking it's going to get it on that date. It's across the board. With Funko Pops, it's completely different. You get a vague date that changes loads, and then depending on what website or what shop you've pre-ordered from, you know, you could get it pretty soon after the release date, or it could be months and months, in my case, over a year. Now then, all I wanted from Glass Shelf Collectibles was some acknowledgement. I didn't ask them for any refunds, not at the start, certainly. There again, I'll try and remember to put some of our Facebook exchanges up on screen. Now that's kind of ironic in itself, because that's the reason I'm complaining about them, for their complete lack of communication. And that's why, as of today, I can't recommend Glass Shelf Collectibles anymore. And I'll be taking their affiliate links and the discount code link that they provided for me out of my description text box from now on. And that's a real shame to me. Coda, I've not used Coda an awful lot. Got no real sort of affection for them as a company. Not really got an affection for a lot of record and music related companies. I just use them because they've got the best deal, or just because it's like out of habit. But with the Glass Shelf Collectibles, you know, they used to contact me quite a lot, like 2020, 2021, particularly through the lockdowns and the pandemic and stuff. And they used to be really good and say, oh, you know, how you doing? We've got some stuff for you that we'll send to you that you can use for giveaways, which was great. And I'm not one who insists that, like, I work with a load of companies here on YouTube and they all send me free stuff. This was their idea, because I'd used Glass Shelf Collectibles since, I think, 2019 for the first time, but I'd used them regularly for purchases and pre-orders and stuff. You know, I thought it's a company I really like and want to have publicly recommended, so I'd be happy to work with them and provide giveaways on their behalf. It suits my YouTube channel and what I do here, and it gives them a little bit of promotion as well, so it worked out nicely. Since late last year, early this year, I've heard nothing from them, and I've tried contacting them on Facebook, as you can see. All I get is the automated message. I know people could say, well, why don't you email them or fill in one of those contact us forms? Well, why should I? They always contacted me via Facebook and I always replied via Facebook, so why should I need to change that just so I can get an answer out of them? Just to say, look, can you give me a bit of an update? You know, even if it's just sort of patting me on the head and saying, as soon as your pre-orders come in, we'll send them. Well, don't worry, we haven't forgotten you. That's all I wanted. I wasn't hit there like, oh, you should have got these by now, because it's not their fault, I don't think. They're not getting the stock in that they advertised back in, like, spring 2021. That's like, you know, a year and 2 seasons ago, thereabouts. The bad news with my pre-orders at Glass Shelf Collectibles is, because the orders are so old, I can't claim the money back on PayPal. I did look into that a couple of weeks ago. I think one of the orders as well was from a gift certificate that my best friend had got me, so how I could claim back a gift certificate, and it wasn't one that I bought, it was one that my friend sent me. So that's my complaint with Glass Shelf Collectibles. It's the, just, I don't know, rudeness might seem a little bit kind of hoity-toity, but it is rude to not reply. You get the automated response that everyone gets. You know, you could send a message saying, you know, I love tits to them, and you'd get that one back, I suppose. You know, I've been really polite with them, and even my very final message, of what I'm assuming will be my final message to them, you know, I wish them all the best for the future. They're a company who I had a lot of affection for because of the kindness that they showed me, particularly after I broke my arm last year, and they sent me a lovely act of kindness. And, you know, I don't want anyone to think that I'm not grateful for anyone who sends me gifts or just reaches out. Yeah, what can I say? Glass Shelf Collectibles. I have to tell people about my experiences. It might seem like I'm telling tales out of school, or whatever the expression is. I wouldn't feel I'm doing a very good job as being a small independent YouTube content creator who does honest reviews, and when he's doing his unboxings and his mail openings, you know, I can't come on here and say, oh yeah, Glass Shelf Collectibles, they're still sponsoring the channel. It was never... I don't like the term sponsorship when it comes to small YouTube. You're not being sponsored, you're just getting some free stuff now and again. For me, it feels right for me to come onto YouTube and onto my channel and let you know how I've had dealings with these companies, with Glass Shelf Collectibles and with Coda, and it's two different problems that I've had. I've come on here today to talk about them, and then you can make up your own minds. You know, I don't say to people, oh yeah, you should use them or you shouldn't. Well, I do say when a company I've really been impressed with does a really good job, I do say, well, you know, give them a try. Hopefully you'll get a good experience like I will. But then by the same token, I feel when there's bad experiences, I feel that I need to come on and let you know. But there we are. I think I've pretty much covered everything about these two companies. As I say, Coda, there's plenty of other places I can use, plenty of other record websites. I'm not going to lose any sleep. If I have to keep that album now because they're fed up of dealing with me, then, you know, that's something we've got in common, because I'm really fed up of dealing with them. I wouldn't have had to go through all this if they just got the order right in the first place. And Glass Shelf Collectibles, as I say, you won't see the affiliate link and the discount code in the description text box anymore, because I can't in good conscience recommend them as a company and be affiliated with them anymore. I don't think it's right that a company ghosts a loyal customer, and I've spent a lot of money there. I think all that money I've spent on pre-orders, and I don't really want to go into specific figures, but it is quite a lot of money for me, what's still outstanding orders there, and it'd be a lot of money for most people, I would have thought. I doubt I'm going to see that again now, so there we are. Thank you for watching this. Hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if enjoy's the right word, because it feels like I've come on and sort of been a bit of a downer, but hopefully you've found this informative and enlightening on what us collectors have to go through with some of these companies. I want to say special thanks, as always, to my patrons and my wonderful subscribers as well, of course. You're all great. Please see my description text box for all the usual stuff, but I'm going to go now. And thank you all for listening, and as I say, sorry that this has been kind of a negative video. I don't like to do these, and I hope that I won't have to do any or many of these again in the future, but I keep saying it, I'll keep repeating it. It's important for me, while ever I'm doing YouTube, just to let my viewers and my subscribers and my patrons and anyone who happens across this know these experiences, these bad experiences do happen. But anyway, please will you join me again next time for what I'm sure will be a much more happy video. Cheers everyone. See ya!